Hey YouTube, Tactical Timmy here. I wanted to give out some silver and gold investment advice, especially for new stackers and things that I wish that I had known when I started stacking. Probably the biggest thing that I see new stackers fall into is that they forget about other asset classes other than the beautiful silver and gold, because it's so easy when we get into buying these precious metals and buying these exciting assets that we can actually physically hold and touch. We forget that there are other asset classes like real estate, like stocks, that can earn us money and offer us more growth potential. I'm not saying that silver is not like something that you can speculate in and maybe has the potential for huge upsides, but that's not something that has historically been shown, whereas stocks and real estate have that historical backing behind building wealth for people. And gold and silver, on the other hand, has the historical backing for preserving that wealth. And I think that there's room for both of those in our investment portfolio. Some of the other things that I see new stackers fall into, besides just getting so laser focused on gold and silver, is that sometimes they forget to watch the premiums. The premiums on these coins can really add up if you're not careful. And all of a sudden, what seemed like was a minor thing when you're just buying, oh, it's just a dollar premium, it's just a $2 premium, all of a sudden you can run out and justify spending $10, $20 on a premium on a coin that you're never going to get back. And I'll be the first to admit that, yeah, I love a good premium coin. I love the Lunar series, and that's something fun that you can enjoy as well. But don't let those premiums get completely out of hand so that you're ruining your investments with what you're collecting, okay? So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is trying to avoid sales tax. Lots of different states have laws that let you avoid sales tax when you're buying gold and silver bullion simply by either buying certain dollar amounts, maybe it's even buying specific types of gold and silver. I know, for instance, some states have that if you're buying sovereign like American eagles or gold eagles, those would be, or gold buffaloes, those would be exempt from sales tax. Whereas other places it's simply a dollar amount. You have to spend $500, $1,000, $2,000, I believe, for California. Lord help you if you're stacking out in California, because having to save up for a whole ounce of gold and silver is certainly a long time to have to save up so that you're not having to pay that premium. Now, we've already talked a little bit about making sure that you're watching the premiums and not letting, the collection get in the way of your stack, because I think that that's something that a lot of new stackers run into. They end up with, a lot of variety. They have, peace dollars, they have, random constitutional silver out there, and it can be exciting. You've got, you've got Franklin halves and Liberty, like Benjamin Franklin quarters, and it's just like, it's something where it's easy to get out there and buy a lot of variety, and then all of a sudden your stack doesn't really make sense. And when you go to sell your stack, you realize that it's a lot harder to sell than if you had simply had silver eagles and gold eagles that any shop would be willing and want to take just about any time of the year. So keeping your stack a little more minimalist and a little more balanced with just eagles, and more eagles will probably end up with a better result for you as a new stacker. I think the last thing that I want to talk about, and the last thing that I wish I had known as a new stacker, is that I wish I had started with gold being my default position. We've already talked a little bit about how we can view silver as a speculative play and maybe something with a little more growth potential, but silver, unfortunately, it doesn't perform like that. It performs more like an industrial metal in our modern age, with companies using it much more like an industrial metal and using it in computers, using it in lots of different things, as opposed to gold, which is really and truly still saved and still hoarded by central banks and has more of that track record to prevent its purchasing power from being lost. So I would wish that when I had started off, I had started with gold as my default position instead of silver. I wish I had viewed silver more as a speculative play, and I wish that I had simply bought more eagles in silver and started collecting, like you see up at the top. I wish I had started collecting less silver, and I wish I had started with gold sooner, because I think that that's a lot of people's natural progression, is they start collecting silver and then eventually they start collecting gold, and that's something that I wish that I had changed. I hope that you found something interesting and learned something from this video. If you have any comments or maybe some things that you wish that you had known when you started your stacking journey, feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Take care.